Hello everyone, and welcome to my I and Our American TV Show official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Young and the Restless spoilers state that with Cameron Kirsten harassing Sharon Newman, she went to great measures to cover up what transpired at Daniel Romalotti Jr. and Heather Stevens' penthouse. Although Sharon doesn't know for sure that she's behind Heather's dismal fate, she knew she'd go down for killing her if she didn't clean up the mess. Sharon carefully wrapped Heather's body up and wiped away the blood trail as she took her corpse from the premises. However, we can't help but notice exactly how exposed Sharon was in the midst of all that. I and our fans watched as Sharon hauled Heather's body out the door, into the hallway and down the staircase before loading it into her vehicle. Sharon evidently feels she got by undetected, but could surveillance footage come back to haunt her? Was Sharon caught on camera at some point during the body removal? That building is certainly a pretty fancy location, as billionaire Devin Hamilton Winters used to reside there. It's far-fetched to imagine they wouldn't have any form of surveillance footage at all. At some point, somebody may go into some surveillance videos and try to get to the bottom of what really transpired that night. Whether that's the cops or maybe Daniel himself, someone's going to chase answers eventually. It looks like Sharon may be able to throw everyone off the scent for a while, but it's just a matter of time until the cover-up falls apart. The cops will certainly take a closer look at Heather's vanishing act and possibly point the finger straight at Sharon. Will Sharon have to explain why she was presumably dragging a body out of Daniel's penthouse and down the stairway to her car? Sharon may land on the hot seat if the security camera evidence ultimately trips her up. Of course, that may lead to all kinds of forensic evidence at Daniel's apartment, as Sharon merely cleaned the blood away. There's going to be proof that Heather's blood was on that floor whenever a full inquiry unfolds. The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest the walls may close in on Sharon down the road, so stick with us for updates on all the commotion and predictions on the awful news that's building for her. The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest that Sharon Newman is dealing with guilt after her encounter with Heather Stevens went horribly wrong. Sharon feels she must have killed Heather, but she can't be sure owing to a blackout, one that raises suspicions about whether she's actually responsible. It would have been so easy to have Sharon fling Heather into something and kill her in a freak accident. Sharon recalls slamming Heather to the floor and knocking her unconscious for a moment, but then Heather opened her eyes and stated Sharon was out of her mind. Next, Sharon blacked out and awoke to find Heather lifeless with a fatal head wound. We have to ponder why Y&R went to the bother of including this bizarre blackout when Sharon could have just accidentally killed Heather with that first hit. In other words, the show produced a key window of time when Sharon can't be confident of what transpired in that apartment. That leads us to suspect someone other than Sharon may have come. If that's true, who could have gone after Heather? What if Heather was actually slain by someone else in a fit of frenzied, spiteful rage? Whom takes us to the ex-boyfriend whom Heather fell for in Portugal. Heather first refused to rejoin with Daniel Romalotti Jr. because she'd previously gotten together with someone new. Later, Heather changed her mind and decided she was ready to fight for her future with Daniel. When asked about her Portugal former flame, Heather stated he was merely a safe person who she knew wouldn't break her heart. What if that person wasn't so safe after all? And what if he didn't respond well to essentially being used like whey? Heather's ex might have been fixated on getting her back and lashed out in the most horrific way conceivable when she said no. We know Heather had a buddy from law school who linked her up with a job interview in town. Heather was off on her claimed job interview shortly before she returned to the apartment. In actuality, that could have been a ploy of some type. What if when Heather got there, her law school pal was actually helping her ex from Portugal make a surprise reunion plea. Heather's ex was an attorney also, so maybe that was also his law school pal. Perhaps Heather was ambushed by her previous flame and was compelled to make it crystal plain to him that they would never getting back together. Once Heather arrived home, her ex-boyfriend might have followed her. It's possible he came in while Sharon was blacked out, or maybe he's the reason Sharon lost consciousness if she doesn't remember him smacking her over the head. From there, Heather's ex might have killed her and strolled straight out the door to let Sharon take the blame. It would have been the perfect crime from his perspective. The program has a habit of dragging questionable exes into the equation when they need to inject some drama. There was Amanda Sinclair's nasty boyfriend, Ripley Turner, not to mention Diane Jenkins Abbotts' threatening former flame, Jeremy Stark. Heather's ex may be the next surprise villain if it turns out he killed her, and let Sharon assume she was responsible instead. Bottom line, Sharon's blackout seems very suspicious, thus our predictions lead to someone else appearing as the real culprit. Heather's ex-boyfriend would be a fantastic contender, so we'll bring you updates as more clues mount up. The Young and the Restless spoilers claim Sharon may be found innocent when it comes to delivering Heather's fatal blow, so stay tuned for more Heather-related news. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, September 30, suggest that Daniel Romalotti Jr. will bring Lucy Romalotti back to the penthouse and expect to find Heather Stevens waiting for them. If Sharon got rid of the evidence as thoroughly as she believes she did, there'll be no proof that Heather ever came back tonight. Lucy and Daniel will be stuck with questions, so you can guarantee Daniel will continually text and phone Heather now that she's MIA. Next on Monday's Y&R episode, Nick Newman, Faith Newman and Maria Copeland will try to figure out what's been going on with Sharon Newman, too. Although they'll all be delighted Sharon is home safe, they'll want explanations about why she went off the radar and where she wound up. Sharon will allude to a confession and ultimately share a tale, but it may not be as incriminating as viewers might assume. There's a fair probability Sharon will omit out the bit about breaking in Daniel's place and having a lethal face-off with Heather. Instead, Sharon may continue to conceal her tracks and act like she's ready to get her life together. Sharon's confession may be more about spilling her heart out to Cassie and knowing that she has to start making her family a priority. Of course, if Sharon is going to keep to her original plan of a cover-up, then her best hope is to make it look like Heather is still alive and well. Using Heather's phone, Sharon may pretend as her and text Daniel stating she needs some space. Daniel will finally seem perplexed about a text he receives and will give Lucy updates on Heather not arriving home. It'll come as a major shock if it suddenly seems like Heather fled Genoa City to clear her head. Daniel thought he worked it all out with Heather and that she was okay with staying in town after all. However, Sharon may make it look like Heather was still furious and that she had to take a vacation from GC. Regardless, our forecasts point to Daniel getting a communication from Heather, while Sharon conceals her trail. Daniel will suspect something isn't right, but Heather may push him not to phone or text again while she works things out. How long can Sharon keep the truth under wraps? How will Nick react to whatever story Sharon tries to sell on her end? The Young and the Restless spoilers claim Sharon's freedom will be on the line, so stay tuned for all the surprising news to follow. So what do you guys think about this update? Let me know in the comment below, and if you like my videos, please press like and subscribe for more. I will see you guys next time.